Reporting this morning from Weehawken High School, where Mayor Richard Turner joined with school board officials as well to commemorate the service of 3 Weehawken residents and 1 Union City resident who served in World War I, which ended 100 years ago next week. Their names: William Kraft, Alexander Solderini, Norman Walpole, and Frederick Hansen.
And again, I just want to thank all our vets for everything that they've done, the ones that came back, the ones that didn't, and the ones that were injured. Thank you.
So they're never lost again. Yeah. So they're never lost again. This we placed around the stones, and this we placed on top of the stones. And this is there were 48 states only in 1918. Hawaii and Alaska were not states yet. So this will be placed there so the stones are never lost again.
Troy, the significance of re-commemorating the names of the 3 Weehawken and 1 Union City residents who served in World War I.
Sure. This was an opportunity for us today to be able to remember how the actions of others have made it possible for us to live our lives, for us to be able to cherish and love our families, and for us to be able to move forward as a people, as a community, and as neighborhoods throughout here in Hudson County. That we're able to remember those democratic principles to which I and my fellow veterans once pledged our service, and to hopefully be able to remember those lives that paid an ultimate sacrifice. Sacrifice must be something that we hold sacred, that it's more than just a cliche, and that it's something that, as these stones will do, we commemorate not just in front of cameras, not just on momentous occasions throughout the calendar year, but every single moment of our lives. And that's what we hope these stones and similar markers to them throughout our communities can do for us.
And Troy, we were commemorating World War I, but you as a veteran, what personally does the meaning of today have for you as a veteran yourself?
Well, I think the term Brethren in Arms is an intentional one. There are particular experiences that tie us together as human beings. And one of them is to bear the burden and the costs of war, but also the privilege and the honor of serving on behalf of notions of a free society, of open markets, of a vote that's accessible to universal suffrage, and ultimately those principles of freedom and justice that are enshrined in our Constitution. That's what, back in the First World War, so many of our fellow brethren in arms fought for, and that's true, I think, in most conflicts. Mayor Turner made a very good point that it's our political leaders and it's our military leaders that choose the conflicts our country enters. But those who bear the brunt of those forces are those who wear the uniform. And that common experience of sacrifice, that common experience of service, ties us together not just geographically throughout this country, but intergenerationally, all the way back into the founding, and certainly on Flanders Field and other sites of the First World War.
So it's obviously these the commemorative stones for these 4 young men who died in World War I have been lost since the late 50s. No one knew they were there. We're amazed that all these years, no one ever saw the stones. They were covered with dirt, covered with grass, lawnmowers going over them, and they were first uncovered. Somebody saw the initials. The Weehawken Historic Commission went to work and found the original obituaries, did some research. They were put there in 1926. They were lost in the late 50s, and obviously you never want to forget a veteran. Obviously, you never want to forget a veteran who gave the supreme sacrifice. So everybody went to work to rededicate the stones, and it's very fitting you do it on Veterans Day, which is the anniversary of the end of World War I, the 100th year anniversary, and the best tribute we can make to all our veterans, especially those who have given their supreme sacrifice, is to remember they fought for our democracy, and voting is the best way to ensure that we have a democracy. And it's extremely important to preserve our democracy. That's what they gave their lives for.
And my last question, Mayor Turner, what message do you think it was important for the students who were here today to walk away with? What kind of message was important for them to understand?
Well, we always have to remind young people that there's a legacy. And every community in America has a legacy. And this is part of our legacy, and veterans are part of our legacy. And the freedoms that they enjoy are because of all those who have defended the country over the years. So it's very important that we remind them. It's very important that they participate in it. It'll be some a fitting tribute, and we're going to make sure that the stones are never lost again to honor these 4 young men.
Mark Busenich reporting in Weehawken for Hudson County View, the eye of the community.